Hello, welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the boxing capital of the world. Of course, you guys know that I've always been involved in the community, doing different things and helping out with the boxing, especially with the kids. And just in general, my makeup is helping people all the time, just get them on the right track. And it's time for younger folks to get out there and get moving, just like they helped me when I was coming up the ranks. And that's what I'm doing these days. I'm helping these young folks that are like my guest today, Jason Vegas Vincent, who's involved in the community. He's an amateur boxing judge and referee. And hopefully one day in the near future, we'll get him into the professional ranks where he belongs. Young talent and knows what he's doing. And of course, you know, you people out there have to know that we are always involved, Vincent and I, in the community, helping these young folks. He has a beautiful family, beautiful son and daughter and wonderful wife. And the thing is about family. Family is so important. And that's why I said boxing is good. It was good for me. I come from a single parent home, and it was not the same as when you have a family, you know, mother, father, and everybody grows up together. Sometimes we have a little tougher times growing up. I know I did growing up. But boxing got me on the right track. I made sure that I didn't go the wrong way. And the great Gaspar Indian Ortega, who was my mentor, one of the great fighters. Gaspar Ortega, Vincent, I want to tell you that Gaspar Ortega had 176 professional fights.
That's unbelievable.
But before we start the show again, I want to welcome you once again on the show so we can talk about what's going on in your neck of the woods with the amateur boxing and what's coming up in the near future. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But talking about the community and what you've been doing with these young kids, you tell us a little bit about what's going on in your life.
Well, with my life, man, I'm just really involved in the amateur boxing community here and abroad, regionally and nationally. And here, you know, we had that spike in COVID this winter, obviously, you know, and you know all about that with your issues with COVID in the past. But we're now kind of, I don't want to say we're out of the woods, but we are now starting to have amateur events for 2022 here in Las Vegas. So we have a lot of events coming up. We have a lot of activity coming up. We'll talk about what we have coming up, but I've been getting into these gyms and the kids are training hard. The coaches are in there with them. The community's starting to come together and we're really excited and ready to get amateur boxing going for 2022 here in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Well, you know, Vincent, you know, you see, we're helping these kids out in the community, in the gyms, got them active. With this COVID situation, can you tell our parents out there that are watching and these youngsters, what is the best way out for them to get with this COVID situation? This pandemic has been hurting everybody, especially these young folks. I've not experienced that. They've been held back from going out, mingling with their friends, not going to school. How do you do that with your family?
Well, you know, it's tough. I'm going to be honest with you and not to be political or anything, but myself, my wife, obviously we were fully vaccinated and had our booster shots. We both work in the casino. She works at the Wynn Hotel. I work at Caesars Palace. And then my son's a senior. He's graduating this year from Palo Verde High School. He had his 2 shots. And then my daughter's 9. She's getting ready to turn 10 years old. And we were just waiting for those to become available. And when they did come available a few months back, we went ahead and got her vaccinated. Obviously, we wore our masks where we were supposed to wear our masks. They've loosened those up, so I'll be honest, it's nice to take the mask off and see everybody's faces again. But, you know, we just try to stay healthy. I don't want to sound like a sermon here, but, you know, eat our fruits and vegetables and take our vitamins and wash our hands and sanitize and where we can social distance, we try to,
Sure.
But it's a risk. You know, it's a risk just, you know, anywhere you go nowadays, but we are fully vaccinated. So I do feel comfortable with my family traveling and going to events or going out to eat at a restaurant, or my daughter does dance and drama kids at her school, and my son has his activities I do, as a parent, I can sleep a little bit better at night and have a little more comfort and ease knowing that my family is vaccinated.
Okay. But, you know, the thing is, there's a lot of folks out there, they're vaccinated, but again, you know, they're going through some difficult time because this is all new to these young folks. They can get depressed and feel that the anxiety and all of this, you know, and there's a lot of individuals that we have to talk more about later on at a different day. I want to bring in some of these experts when it comes to mental, mental illness.
Correct.
There's a lot of individuals. I mean, we got to look at a lot of suicides up there. The numbers are going through the roof these days.
Absolutely.
And it's all because of this COVID, and people can't deal with certain things. The crimes are going up. And one thing is that so many crimes that are going up there, the car theft, the carjacking, the drugs, Brad.
Assaults and batteries,
Yeah, assaults and
yeah, bullying, all that.
A
Yeah.
lot of stuff is kicking in now more than ever. I don't know if our government, and I don't want to talk politics because I hate politics, but we have to see what our government can do to help these people get them on the right track. Because there's more, everything's spiking up more than ever. It couldn't be with the pandemic, with the COVID. I don't know what it is, but there's something we need some changes.
Yeah, listen up. I mean, obviously, I'm a volunteer with USA Boxing as an official, a coach. I'm a master boxer myself. I've gotten in the ring and boxed, and I was on the board of directors, athlete representative. But also, I'm a dad and a father and a husband. But also, I've worked at my daughter's school and my son's school for 5 years now. So I work for the school district, security and morning and afternoon safe key, to mentor the kids and guide them. I'm Mr. Jason over there, and they absolutely adore me, and I adore them.
And we adore you here too.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Right? You asked me back, so I must be doing something right, but very grateful. But the point being is I see these kids day in and day out. And yes, we have to keep them safe, and we have to lower their risks. And I don't want to, like I say, tell anybody what to do, but yes, vaccination is one step, mask wearing is one step, but I want to get these masks off, and I want to get these kids outside and playing, because we have them inside the building, and we're not able to take them outside in the morning. They do now. I heard they do now once the mask mandate dropped, but these kids are going stir crazy. They have all sorts of emotional little flare-ups and meltdowns while I'm at the school. A lot of them have lost a year or two of not only schooling, everything that goes with schooling, reading, writing, math, arithmetic, all that, but their social skills are behind like 2 years now.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're trying to catch them up and work with them, but it's like an uphill climb and battle. And that's where, obviously we're talking boxing, and I'm going to be an advocate for boxing in the community, amateur boxing in the community. But that's where we got to start now, especially with the weather getting warmer. I know it's going to be almost 80 degrees this week. We got to start getting these kids outside, even if you just take them to the park, or you get them in soccer or baseball or football or dance or jiu-jitsu, or preferably boxing with us. And we got to let them go out there and empty their gas tanks and burn a little steam off, just like we do as adults, and not just kids, adults too. You need to get out of the house and burn some aggression off, and hit the gym, hit the heavy bag, go wherever.
Exactly. You got to let that frustration out somewhere.
Absolutely.
Don't let it out on your loved ones or your children. Hit the bag. Put a face on the bag and punch that heavy bag, and maybe leave somebody.
I hit the bag 5 days a week.
Maybe somebody that you don't like, you punch on the bag.
Yeah.
When you let out your frustration, it really works a lot.
It does.
It really makes you feel better. I mean, I still do it these days.
Of course.
I like to get on the bag, hit the bag. But at my young age, I still, it's only a number for me. You know that. I'm always going. I can't stop. But I feel like that you guys out there got to take care of our kids, because the kids right now in the community, like you say, you're helping out there. I'm helping as well. And you out there with your beautiful family, keeping them on the right track, keeping these kids growing up the right way, and we got to be more together, the families, the community. Or we got to be a little closer, call one another a little bit more often, because what's happening is there's too much separation between friends and family members. Yeah. We got to keep our family together.
And that's one of the side effects. And once COVID passes, or I guess in a rearview mirror, we might be living with COVID our whole lives, but whatever happens is when they start doing studies on all the different repercussions of COVID, and they go to that, a lot of that isolation and separation as humans we're not meant to have, and it was a detriment and it was a downfall for society for this short, period of time right here. And we got to do things to correct the course and get back on track. And I think a lot of it is, like you said, families come together, communities come together the best that you can.
Right.
We need all the adults in the room to put their heads together and work through this and take care of our kids and our young ones, and set an example, and let's move into the future here.
Exactly. One of the things I've noticed is that a lot of people have that anger. You got to let that anger go, Like if you see you're getting into a little dispute with something, just walk away from it, because being angry and arguing back and forth going to make matters worse. It doesn't make it any better. I always believe in being kind and loving, and even if I'm wrong, I'll admit I made many mistakes. We all do it. But you know what? I don't want to argue about it. I say, you know what? Forgive me if I made some mistakes. I'm only human, and you learn from your mistakes, but you try to move on and be better. I think that we're doing pretty good. COVID seems to be easing off a little bit, and I think that I can see people relaxing a little bit more.
Yeah.
And now what's happening now is the news you see every day now, what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. Is so sad, because what's happening there, I mean, last night they targeted some juvenile homes that there was these home care facilities for kids, and they killed all those kids last night, 2 different locations.
That's horrible.
And I hate to see that, because we love children. We love people from all walks of life. And once you get into boxing like we have, you get to meet people from all over the world. I've been to China. I've been to South Korea, not North, but I've been to places where I never been to Russia.
Never went to
I know
Russia,
some of our officials have been to Russia.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's nice people all over the world.
Correct.
It's just sometimes it's the government that makes it rough, and you only need one person to lead them in the wrong direction. But I've been to China many times, and I was there with Mike Tyson. We had a great time. They treated us like champions over there.
I was in Hong Kong when I was in the Navy, and that's one of my favorite places in the whole world that I've been to. Hong Kong's a beautiful city, and the people were so nice there. And it was a huge international city, so it wasn't just Chinese there. The British were there, and Filipino and Americans and all that. But, you're right. You're absolutely right, man. We got to figure out a way to come together, and, getting back to what you said, I mean, we're still in this pandemic. And then you add in this Russia-Ukraine situation going on, which is horrific. This is the time right now, folks, listening, to get outside. The weather's going to start warming up. Turn the TV off. Turn your phones off. Go for a walk. Jump rope, shadow box. Take the kids to school, to the park. Get your kids involved in something. Let's get them off the video games for a little bit. I'm a parent. I've been tired coming home from work from Caesar's Palace, and here's some food, fast food, and go on your video game and let dad relax, because I worked in 110-degree weather. But we have to get outside or go to the gym and shut all our electronics off for a little bit and decompress and get away from reality for a little bit and get lost in your workouts and let that steam out.
Exactly. Jump in the ring here. You can jump in the ring behind us. That's a good place to be in. Get in that ring, work out a little bit, just stay in shape. But the thing is to be focused and what we want to do next. Everything's got to be positive, because I think that thinking positive and doing the right things, helping other people, which is always my way of thinking, helping other people out there. I mean, that's all we got to do. Help your neighbors, especially your family, but help your neighbors, your loved ones. Get people on the right track, because people need some help out there. We've been blessed in a lot of different ways that we've had pretty good lives. You've been able to travel and have a good job and whatever. But the thing is that what do we do? What can we do to help other folks that are not as fortunate as we have been? We have to try to guide them and help them. Get them in the gym. Help them. Somebody call people. I love calling everybody up. Sometimes they wonder why I call so much. I call because I love people.
Joe's good at calling and texting. He's real good at that. So I run across ex-professional boxers all the time, and we get talking. I was talking with Jerome Coffey yesterday at the gym, and then Kelvin Seabrooks. And did Kelvin ever call you? I gave him your number. He's supposed to call you.
Yeah.
Both of them. It was funny. I was talking to Jerome Coffey, and then Kelvin Seabrooks calls up, and I'm like, Jerome, Kelvin's on the phone, and he goes, I fought him back, 30 or 40 years ago.
He was an Olympic champion back in the 60s?
Both of them were in the late 70s, early 80s, and they missed out on the Olympics, talking about Russia. That was when Jimmy Carter boycotted the 1980 Olympics. Okay. So they missed out on that, and then both of them turned pro, and they fought in the pros. Both of them held belts. I think Kelvin had the IBF belt, and I can't remember what Jerome Coffey. I think he was a 1 or 2 time world champion at a few different weight classes. So, but now they're amateur boxing coaches. Kelvin is in Charlotte, and Jerome Coffey is in Memphis, Tennessee, where he was born and raised.
Right.
So great guys. Jerome will be at the Masters tournament this weekend that we're having. He's cornering a master boxer.
Tell me about that tournament coming up there this Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, it's it's our third annual Las Vegas Masters Boxing Invitational. It's sponsored by Title. It's been huge for the amateur community, and they have another event coming up here in May. Douglas Ward and the guys at Title do a fantastic job, and we're so grateful and blessed to have them in amateur boxing. But it's this Saturday, Sunday, February 26th and 27th. The weigh-ins are at 9. The bouts start at 12. The doors open at 11. Bouts start at 12 noon. We're going to have 2 rings. It's going to be the biggest Masters tournament ever. We're going to have 2 rings, and I believe we have over 170 competitors from all over the United States. I believe we do have some from Canada, England, and maybe Germany. Coach Manny Fernandez is the promoter of that, and I think he said Germany, but we have people coming from out of the country.
Where are these fights being held at?
This is going to be held at the Gil Martinez Mob Boxing, or the International Training Center. It's at 7770 Dean Martin Drive, and it's Unit 304. It's on the south end of town, right by the Silverton Casino.
Here in Las Vegas.
Here in Las Vegas. Now, it's our third one. You were at our first one.
Right.
You were presenting belts. That was the first time I did your show. You let me promote it. It's been 3 years now. You let me promote it. And I think we even gave you a belt. It's up in your garage. I think we gave you one of the title belts. I saw it up in your garage. But Joe's been a big advocate for amateur boxing for us. And he's really supported the Masters division. And the Masters division is growing. And just real quick on the Masters division, if everybody's like, what is he talking about Masters division? Master is a Master division boxer, is a male or a female at the age of 35 years and over and up.
Do I qualify for that?
You do qualify. You do qualify. We do have, believe it or not, people in their 60s and 70s. And we got guys in their 70s that have 10, 15, 20 bouts. But it's quite a treat to see the 7-year-olds get in there, and everybody, all eyes are on them, and they get the biggest round of applause by everybody. But
it's good to hear this applause once in a while.
yeah, 70 years old to get in the ring, man. So I had my first fight at 44 years old. I'm 48 now. I had my first amateur bout at 44 years old at the Westgate Hotel in front of 2,000 people.
I guess you guys have good insurance, right?
Yeah, USA Boxing. So, but now even USA Boxing's really the before the Masters were just maybe you got on one event on a local card maybe, or maybe they had a tournament and they matched a few Masters up. This was 10 years ago. But now we have 8 or 9 or 10 tournaments a year around the US of A, LA, Boston, Atlanta, Houston a few times, Vegas. And now USA Boxing, the higher ups at USA Boxing are now they see how popular the Master Division is. And not the event coming up in Cleveland, the national event, but I believe at the Junior Olympics this summer in Wichita, Kansas, they tie another tournament to that. And they're going to have the Masters come out, and they will start ranking. They have a ranking system now for the Masters. So that's how it went from nothing all the way up to getting ranked like the young people do.
In the pros. Now, do you consider maybe doing something international, like international fights, like Canada versus USA or Italy? With Masters, that would be something that they can start their own tournaments in their own respective countries to get that going here, because I think that would be good to have international bouts. I know I did when I was in the amateurs.
Yeah.
I was U.S. against Canada.
Correct.
Different countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do that with the youth a lot. We will have Canada or Ireland or England come over here. With the Masters, we can do it, but it's still growing to the point where you got to make sure you have enough of Masters from Italy or England or wherever in the United States to fill an event up. And you got to be careful, because like some countries like Australia will let their ex-pro fighters still compete in a Masters division. We don't do that here. If you have any pro fights at all, whether it's a Muay Thai or a boxing or an MMA, you cannot be an amateur boxer.
So why is it that they're trying to, are they doing it already? They're professional fighters. They had them this past Olympics, fighting in the Olympics, fighting amateur fighters.
A couple of our guys that won belts.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, there was, I believe, two of our guys that won belts. I can't remember their names. I used to have them written down, and studied it. But I believe two of our boxers, one won a silver and one won a bronze. I think one gentleman was 4-0 or 5-0, and I believe the other one was 3-0. So they actually had some professional fights. And I think the reason behind that, I'm not 100% what I heard, the reason behind that was because COVID and the Olympics got delayed 1 year.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be like that moving forward. But, now, I mean, we got to really take this serious, guys, and really help promote amateur boxing because they're talking about maybe boxing not being in the Olympics going forward.
Yeah. Well, you got Cuba, and they don't have no professional boxing there. But those fighters out of Cuba, when they do turn pro, when they manage to get away from Cuba, they come here to the United States. They're good champions.
They're pro ready.
I mean,
they're pro ready.
So, but I mean, I think that we should work more with the amateur fighters to get them to the level where they can be like professionals, but still stay in the amateur if they don't want to go pro.
Yeah.
Because a lot of fighters don't want to go pro. They do it as a hobby. They love it, and they win all these amateur championships.
Correct.
They enjoy that. But some people want to go pro because that's where the money's at.
Yeah.
Like Sugar Ray Leonard, and they want to have that name like Manny Pacquiao. Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys, if they would stay in the amateur, they'd be champions forever. But, they want to move on to the pros. But a lot of, like you said, the masters, the seniors, 35 and over, that's something new, and it's something that you have to make sure you're in good physical condition in order for you to participate in those type of tournaments.
Yeah, sometimes we get master boxers that want to try it, and that's okay. That's great. You want to prove to yourself. Takes a lot of guts and courage to step between these ropes right here and do that and prove to yourself and prove to your family that you can do it. But a lot of these people take it very, very serious, these competitors. So if you hit the mitts with your coaches a few times and you're working the heavy bag and jogging, but you're not sparring and not taking it real serious, you can go in there and get hurt. Even though we have 16-ounce gloves and 16-ounce headgear from Tidal, you can go in there and get hurt. So, I mean, it's not a hobby. It's getting out of that stage of a smoker or whatever. And these people take it very seriously. They train 5, 6, 7 days a week. Their diets are on point. They do a lot of sparring. And they take it very serious. So
I want you to talk a little bit about your fights are coming up again. Give us a schedule of the amateur fight.
So we talked about the Masters coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And then after that, our first official event for our local boxing community out here, LBC number 49 for the kiddos, the young people, will be at Hall of Fame referee Richard Steele's gym. They'll be the first one to do it this year. They're calling it March Madness. It's a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday, March 19th and 20th. Saturday, Sunday, March 19th and 20th. The bouts start at noon. And Richard has a boxing gym, and he has a foundation. It's a nonprofit foundation. He also has the Police Athletic League there, the PAL organization there. And Richard's address is, he lives on the northwest side of Las Vegas. It's 2475 West Cheyenne Avenue, and it's Suite 110. So that's March 19th and 20th, Saturday, Sunday coming up. They still are pre-matching, so if anybody wants to get in contact with me, you can reach me on Instagram, West Vegas Vincent. That's West Vegas Vincent. And I will give you the info for the two coaches, Coach Percy Pride and Coach Cisco Cuventas, that will be doing the matchmaking on that. And then we do have a tournament in May. We have one coming up in May, and that is the Tidal Invitational Tournament. That's at the Westgate Hotel, 3-day event. They are pre-matching and taking reservations and stuff like that right now to compete in that, and that's held by Nate Gould with Real Boxing Gym, and that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3-day event, and it's May 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Westgate Casino. So we do have a lot, and there's a few more that are coming up too. So we do have a lot of tournaments coming up, a lot of 2-day events coming up. And like I told you when we opened up the show today, we have a lot of activity. So locally, but anybody listening to this that lives in Arizona, Utah, California, Colorado, New Mexico, I don't care, back east, Florida, New York, If you want to fly out to Las Vegas, we'll get you on one of these events. We'd love to have you out here. We'd be very grateful to have you out here.
Well, we did the boxing capital of the world.
That's it right here.
Even if you don't go pro, you can say, you know, I went to Las Vegas. I fought in Las Vegas. That's a good thing to do. Even if you lose, you say, I fought in Las Vegas. Well, the big fights were held. And that's a good thing to do, you know?
It's always a good time to come out to Vegas. The weather's starting to warm up now. Like we talked about earlier, we've all kind of been isolated and secluded the last 2 years. Great time to come out to Las Vegas, support amateur boxing, bring your young amateur boxers out here, bring the family out here, enjoy all the sights and scenery out here in Las Vegas. Pool season starting back up, and you know, now's the time to come out, man. We'd love to have you. Got a lot of activity.
Yeah, you can check out on the schedules for professional boxing. If you want to see a boxing match, there may be a boxing match that weekend.
Correct.
So if you're not doing anything, you can either go to the gyms and see these fighters train. You go to Mayweather's boxing gym. You go to the gym where the Julio's at.
The pound for pound boxing gym, pound for pound boxing gym.
Any of the gym that you want to
Absolutely.
mention, Richard Steele's Boxing Club.
At Richard Steele's, yeah.
You know, go there and watch the fighters train, work out. So there's always a lot you can do. If there's no boxing fights going on, at least you go to the gym to watch the professionals and amateurs.
Correct.
You know, work out and see how it is here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, you know, anytime you come to an amateur event and you purchase a ticket to come in and watch the amateurs display their talents, you're supporting the amateur boxing community. And like Joe said, you can always get with me and see what the schedule is. And if you want to time it around, like I know we have Billy Joel this weekend. Metallica's coming in. We have the Las Vegas Golden Knights hockey team, Summer League NBA basketball. We have the NFL draft this year. You can always tie it around other events out here too. If pool season's out here, if you want to come see me at the pool at Caesar's Palace, I make a really good mojito out there. A blackberry mojito.
Yeah, he's a bartender at the Caesar's Palace.
24 years. 24 years ago.
At the pool area, right?
Pool area. Yeah.
You got the best job in the world.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, you know what, man?
I mean, you see all the beautiful girls in the bikinis. But we got to keep it distant.
I got to work, man. My hands down. I'm making drinks.
And not only that, his wife doesn't take any BS.
Oh, no, man. I married a Hispanic woman, man. I married a Mexican. I'd be getting big time trouble, so I don't do that. So, but no, I've been there 24 years. Great job. Very grateful. It's provided me a great living to raise my family. And, man, it's just all the actions there. You know, it's high intensity. You know, everybody's happy out at the swimming pool. You're not in the casino. You're not back wherever you're from. You know, they come out here in March, April, and May. You know, you're from back east. You're from Manhattan. They come out here, and it's still snowing back there. Yeah. So they come out here, and they're like, oh, my God, this is like the best thing ever in their life. Yeah. Well, you know, when you lived in New York, and you would come out to Las Vegas back when you were still, you know, with the New York Athletic Commission, and you would come out to Vegas, and it might be freezing there, you're chipping ice off your windshield or shoveling snow, and you come out here and it's 75, 80 degrees.
Yeah, but I remember one night I came out here before I started refereeing, because I was refereeing and judging at the same time. One time I came out to Vegas, they had me judge the Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran.
Outside
at the Mirage.
Mirage, yeah.
It was freezing out there.
I remember that, yeah.
I remember Sugar Ray Leonard, his cornerman, put a blanket over him in between rounds.
Yeah.
When he went back to the corner for the 1 minute rest period, they wrapped him up in a blanket. I mean, that's how cold it was.
That was like in November, right? They had a little bit later in the year. Yeah,
It was cold.
Yeah, you can't have a fight in November out here. I mean, it still might be nice, but you're asking for trouble if you have an event. I think like middle of October, maybe Halloween should be the latest you have an outside fight out here. And you don't want one out here in June, July, and August when it's 110 degrees either.
Well, I've done fights daytime at Caesars.
Yeah.
Where I did my first fight was Jeff Fennick and Asuba Nelson.
Yeah.
It was like 110 degrees.
Oh my God.
And it was really, and that was outdoors. And one time I did the Bo Holyfield. That was also
outdoors at Caesars.
So I mean, it gets to be real hot outdoors. Yeah. But June, July, August, man, those months are hot. Yeah, I'd rather keep them in the indoors arenas and do it like the MGM or the Thomas and Mack.
Yeah, you know? I save all my vacation for June and July and August. That's where I go travel around the country and hit all the amateur events. I try to get away from the pool, but
the heat here gets to be a little too much sometimes. Anyway, guys, we're glad that you joined us today for this special event, and glad that we had Jason on the show to tell you a little bit about the up and coming events this coming Saturday and Sunday, and with the Masters tournament. And it's an honor to to always be sharing our knowledge and wisdom with you guys, and hope to have Jason in the near future to talk about more about amateur boxing. And you moms and dads out there, God bless you. Take care and keep your guards up at all time. And remember, Jason, I'm fair, but I'm firm.
Yes, you are.
Touch it,
man.
my buddy. Good luck and thank you so much. Take care, guys.